I think we're live now. I am going to have to do things a little bit more manually because as of right now, my whole system is off kilter, but I can make this work. It's just not going to look the way that it was supposed to look the whole time. It's not going to look the best way that it possibly could. But that's fine, because if I were to just turn this away because it simply wasn't working my favorite way, I wouldn't get anything done. So I'm going to have to figure out a different way to do it. And that different way to do it is going to be a little bit ugly. I've got my my other screen over here kind of flooded. Whipped Choco, hi there, welcome. I think I see Spider-Man's name popping through, which is just wonderful. I'm putting together all the chats right now because as of this moment, everything's a little bit ugly. So, hey there. Oh, look, everyone popping in. Mike, I'm going to ask the guy I like for his Insta tomorrow. Oh, nice. Go ahead. Ask for it. Aloha, Uncle Mike. You have pants? That's for the After Dark stream people to find out. You'll have to stick around and see if I'm wearing pants. I'm opening up the YouTube stream now so that I have access to that chat. And okay, so I've now got all of my chats open other than TikTok. I'm not able to see TikTok. Please tell me you're not going to flash us. Don't worry, I'm not going to flash anybody. I don't want to offend anyone that badly, so that won't be happening. But anyway, I'm glad everyone's here. I would like to extend the opportunity for anyone here who's got questions. If you're stuck on a weight loss plateau, or if you're stuck on what to do next, you don't have any idea what to do next, we're here to talk about it. And if you're looking to surround yourself with people who are just like you, achieving the things that you would like to achieve and doing the things that you would like to do, I would love to invite you to join our free weight loss Discord group. You can find that link anywhere you find me, as well as my podcast, which comes out every Wednesday, except this past Wednesday, where I did take a quick mental health break. So thank you, all of you, for being patient with me as I took care of myself. It's important to do that. We've got Erica here. Love your videos. Thank you so much. I love your comment. It's so far a big fan of your work. Eric, oh hey there, Mr. Artist. I'm glad to see you. Happy that you're here. I'm putting together a couple of things that people have sent me, and I want to put it all out at the same time. So it's Eric sent me a wonderful piece that he put together last week or so. Mike, I've got a question. What are the best YouTube channels for full body workouts? So I happen to believe that YouTube is the most powerful fitness app or resource ever released. Everything I know about working out, I learned through there. Everything I know about exercise, I learned through guys like Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Ethier, Sean Nelawane, Ben Yanes is a good one. Athlean X is a bit of a controversial one, but I do like his workouts. But really, you can just type in anytime or anywhere on YouTube. You just type in bicep workout 5 minutes or something, and it'll come up with a full workout for you to do. It's a really awesome tool, and I recommend YouTube tremendously. So. Again, by the way, TikTok, if anybody's watching on TikTok, which I don't think they are because TikTok's a dead platform, I would love to invite you to come over to Twitch or YouTube, so I would be able to see your comments over there. Walk at Home is great on YouTube, Eric says. Cool. I've never heard of that one, but kidding. Okay, so first off, Kristen, if you come to Dallas, where it is never cold, that naked winter might serve you a little bit better. Things might be a little bit easier for you. That all being said, congratulations to you. That's just great. Good for you. How does it feel as you're getting there and you're getting to a point where you're like, I've done something with my body that maybe I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do, and here I am doing it. Because I know what it was like for me. The realization didn't come to me until afterward. The realization hit me later. Let's pop on over to my Twitch stream right quick. Bailey's here. Spider-Man's here. The attractive redhead's here. Smitty's here. Howdy from Canada, where the shirts are still cheap enough to wear. Yeah, after that debate the other night, I'm not confident that I'll be able to afford a shirt anytime soon. Let's pop on in here. Thank you. I love your help, Mike. Well, thank you. Thank you. How can I enjoy working out? It feels like actual torture to me. Well, right now you're working out to fix something, right? Who here this is something that my friend Chris Terrell does, and I wanted to say, because usually it's like, raise your hand or let me know. He'll tell us in his classrooms, put a 1 in the chat if you feel like all of your exercises are just you trying to fix something. If you have to fix everything, like every time you work out or every time you walk or every time you eat something healthy, so to speak, you're trying to fix a problem rather than work towards a solution. Because if I could type in one of these chats, I'd press 1 myself. We've got a 1 there. Brazen Clips on YouTube says, I'm having a really hard time today, but I know it won't last forever. I have less than a month from the cutting phase, then I get to maintain. It's been a long 16 months. And my mom's here. Everyone say hi to my mom. But yes, it's if you feel like everything you're doing is just fixing a problem, of course you're not going to want to stick to it. It'll feel like torture if you feel like a problem that needs to be fixed. You're not a problem that needs to be fixed. I did all of it. I get full credit. Easy to move. I get to think of what I'm going to do now that I don't have the weight loss thing on me to-do list perpetually. Working on maintenance next. That's what you're working. You are working towards something. You're not working away from something. Even if you are listening to me and you're 450 pounds right now, you are not running away from being 450 pounds. You are working towards being 200. Or, whatever it is that your weight's going to be. But it's not even that. You're not working towards a number. You're working towards a new lifestyle. You're working towards a new mentality that you get to have. You're working towards happiness that you will not get through weight loss, but you'll get through happiness gain, through working on happiness as you go through this journey. Seeing a bunch of 1s here in the chat. By the way, if you guys are not following Chris Terrell, because that was a quick homage to my good friend Chris, go ahead and follow. Now, I know Kristen is, because I met you through the Guild of Champions. But yeah, if the rest of you are not following Chris, you need to be, because he's just a fantastic resource. To answer your question on what's stopping me from losing weight, with every day I try to be in a caloric deficit, I notice how much food affects my mental health. So I think it's my mental health. There's a certain thing I noticed recently in regards to the way that we react to people telling us, eat less, move more, which we all know is true. We all know it's eat less, move more. That's the basic mechanics behind weight loss. That all being said, most people, including us, including myself, when that was first posed to me, I was not hearing it as eat less, move more as a benefit to myself. At the time, I was eating to emotionally regulate. I was eating the amount of food I was eating to try to feel better. It was the only thing I had. It was the only venue forth that I could think of to try to fix what was wrong with me or what was wrong inside my head. It was the only thing I had control over. So when somebody said, well, you just have to eat less, what I was hearing, what I heard inside of my head was, you don't get to emotionally regulate anymore. So when I get resistance from people and they say, well, I'm eating as little as I possibly can. One, they're not. And that's fine. I'm not trying to blame anyone, but I also understand the backlash, because there's a lot of really angry bullies online that will treat overeating as a crime. You could overeat every single day and come back to me, and I'm not going to criticize you for it. It's not a crime to overeat. It's something that you would like to fix, but just because you would like to fix it doesn't mean you're wrong for doing it. It just means that we have to work on it. That's all. You're not going to be criticized here for it. But when people talk about, like, hey, you are just eating too many calories, that translates in your head as, that's blame. I'm being blamed for something. I've done something wrong, and my only mode of emotional regulation is being challenged and taken away from me. And when you feel that, because you're not really thinking of food as being your emotional regulator until somebody says it like that. You just happen to know that when you eat, you feel a little bit better, so you do it, and you don't really think about it all that much more. But you have that positive association, or at least what feels like a positive association. Same thing that happens if you take a pack of cigarettes away from a smoker. They know it's not good for them. They know it's hurting them. They know it's not benefiting them in any capacity, but you take that away and suddenly they're not feeling too good. They're not too happy about it because their mode of emotional regulation was taken away. They understand that the mode is not good, but they need it as they transition away from it. There's a couple of people out there that quit cold turkey. I don't know how they do it. If I was a smoker, I can only imagine it would be way harder for me to get to a point where I was successful as I am now. I swear there are days where I never want to eat again. Right, because now, and that's the other side of it, is, once we swing the pendulum away from emotional regulation, we're like, well, food is the enemy. Right? Food is the enemy. And neither one is true. The food isn't really emotionally regulating you, otherwise you wouldn't be coming here to try to fix it. And the food isn't hurting you. It isn't. The emotions are hurting us. Because if we are emotionally eating, it is the emotions that are hurting us. If we are stress eating, it is the stress that is hurting us. It's not the food. The food is just the manner by which we do it. When someone takes a knife to their own skin, it's not the knife cutting it. It's not the knife making that slice. It's the emotion that caused them to bring it there. The tool by which it occurs is irrelevant. You could do it with anything. I could do it with these nail clippers right here. I could eat anything. I overate healthy food too. I did that plenty of times. I made myself sick on healthy food. People do that all the time with carnivore when they try to switch over to carnivore, thinking, well, if I just change my diet, everything's going to be different. No, it was never the diet. I wish it was. I wish it could just be, hey, I changed my diet and everything's fine. But that's just simply not the case. We don't get that lucky. We have to change the reason that the diet was the way it was. We have to change the reason why we keep reaching into a box of Band-Aids for a bullet wound. It's clearly not going to fix anything. Just hanging over an open hole. I feel exactly this way. So many of my days are dog shit. Food is the only thing I actually enjoyed. So how do we emotional eaters tackle this? We need to emotionally regulate in other ways. One is going to be, hey, we are going to have some difficult conversations with some difficult people. You do not get to be successful on this journey without pissing at least one person off. And maybe that person is you. But it's going to be somebody. Someone has to be pissed off on this journey. Not permanently, not forever. You don't just have to just be a dick to everybody in your life, but somebody's going to not be happy. Most of you are people pleasers coming to me right now. It is very rare that I'm not talking to a people pleaser when I talk to people about overeating. Because our needs become very secondary, and we got to get them in when we can. And getting them in when we can is usually stopping at a drive-thru somewhere on our way home. So it's a matter of having some difficult conversations with some possibly difficult people. It's going to be one. You might be the difficult person in your life that you need to have a conversation with. I know I was. I'm not casting stones here. I was that person that needed to have emotionally regulating conversations with me. I needed to figure out why it was that I was acting the way that I was, why my brain chose the things that it chose, and why the options that were in front of me were the only options that I had, or at least the ones that I felt that I had. There are some options that we have that are really the only options we have at the moment. We just got to choose them. It's fight or flight. When we're presented with one or the other and we can only choose between the two, one will seem better than the other one. Doesn't mean we would choose either of them if a third option was available, but sometimes that's the all we've got. But there is always a secret third option. It's just we got to work towards building that new option. Honest question, Mike, but how would I go about helping my mom lose weight? I know a lot of it surrounds confronting the emotional aspect, but I honestly don't know how ready I am to help my mom knowing the situation she's been put in by the rest of our family. I feel helpless, but that's likely because of overeating. Smitty answered this one, so let's see what he said first. That's a tough question, Spotty. I had a few friends that had come to me asking for help, and I can give them the tools and accelerate learning, but so much is so individual. Spotty says, I would imagine that it would be a massive undertaking that I wouldn't even know how to address. She's implemented very healthy lifestyle habits like walking and increased need activity, but she kind of looks at me and asks for the secret, and I really don't know what to tell her. Confronting and understanding my own emotions was hard enough. It feels like a nightmare to do it with someone so close to me. So it sounds like she is already making the changes. It sounds like the things that you want her to do or the things that she needs to do are being done. Is it a thing where she's like not making progress, or she keeps sliding back, or is she making progress and it just hasn't been enough time? Because that's the one constant that we have no control over, but happens to be the most important and has a bearing over everything that we do. Has it just not been long enough? Or is she looking at you and, grass is greener on the other side, not paying attention to the fact that she's making her own progress, but sees your progress and says, well, I wish I had that. Is that it? Bestie, I didn't know you were alive. Yeah, I just popped on I wish I knew how long ago I popped on, but I don't have my timer anymore. It's a mess here on my screen. I've got 3 different chat boxes up here at the moment, trying to monitor all the chats, and it's really not good. Speaking of chats, I know that there's no one on TikTok watching me, but if you are, I would love to invite you to come over to Twitch or YouTube, which is the best 2 platforms to reach me at. And it's so difficult to remind myself that I cannot abuse myself to better health. Can't beat myself into self-acceptance. Chopping myself up into pieces that fit into a specific clothes or space. Yeah. That's a huge thing. I was once 155 pounds, and I'm fairly tall. I'm taller than maybe the average person, not a giant. But 155 pounds is not healthy for me. It's not a good weight to be. So, and I reached similar weights several times on my journey. I just kept going up and then going back down and going up and going back down and up and down and up and down. It was a big mess. Really, really big mess. Weight loss never made me happy. It was all the stuff that I earned while I did it. She's been stuck at the same weight for a long time, likely due to how important diet is when it comes to weight loss. I don't know what she could replace the comfort foods with. Yeah, that's gonna. What I often say to anybody who's concerned with, somebody who's close to them. Obviously, you can't just say, "I'm worried about you because you're fat." That's gonna make them turn back to all their coping mechanisms real quick. But what you can do in a situation like that is try to create opportunities, which is my best advice in that situation. Just create opportunities. So it sounds like you live with her. What foods do you want her to have? Don't present it as diet food. Don't choose some tasteless garbage or anything like that. And speaking of making some good food, my friend David's here now, and he's been making some solid stuff in his kitchen lately. He can tell you how weight loss can be super tasty. This is where the cool kids are, especially now that you're here. If you want to help somebody out in your life, one of the best things you can do is gift them something that they would enjoy. If you pose it as, hey, this is a low-calorie, healthy, high-protein meal, they're gonna sense the undertone of it. But if you're just like, hey, I made dinner, that's a good thing. And then she's eating it, and she's like, ooh, this is pretty good. Spider-Man. Hold on a second. Aren't Spider-Man's parents not around anymore? Aren't you living with your Aunt May? But yeah, you can, just make a good dinner for somebody. That's all. Give it a shot. How tall am I? 6'3". Is he doing it naked? You'll find out. This is a non-canon question, Mike. No, I think it's regular. Strive for growth. Oh, I like that name. Hi there, first-time chatter over on the Twitch. Glad to see. Did you come from TikTok? Is that possible? If anybody's over here on TikTok, I'm not able to see it. Oh, 5'11", tall gang. Oh, hell yeah. Very nice. The chicken burgers were fire. Oh, cool. Very cool. That's great. I knew they were going to be good. You were telling me it was some kind of like, I forget what you said. It was like roasted garlic and cheese or something like that. Some kind of nice combination of flavors in a fairly low-calorie chicken patty. So really, Mike, can I ask you how you regulate yourself? Not because I want to copy it, just pure interest. Going to get some books. So I think I may need caramelized onion and cheddar. That's what it was. That's really good. I'm coming over. But how I regulate myself, that really depends on what mode you're talking about, because it's not just like I'm regulated, I'm unregulated. I'm regulated, I'm unregulated. Like there are different things in my, like what are specifically are you looking to regulate? Oh, Harley, hey, I didn't respond to your message. I'm just remembering now. I have a message from you that I have not yet responded to. By the way, anybody, if you have ever engaged in conversation with me and noticed that I disappear, it's not because I didn't want to talk to you. It's because I literally just got lost in 1,000 other notifications. So, sorry about that. But what was I saying before? Oh, yes, about regulation. When it comes to regulation, there are a lot of different things to be regulated. We've got, like, we'll take my hunger, for example. I'm regulating hunger through a couple of things. One, my thoughts. I'm thinking about, am I actually hungry at the moment, or am I bored? Am I stressed? Am I procrastinating? There's all different things. Sometimes you just haven't had enough water. When you have unchecked hunger signals, it will register in your mind as hunger if you haven't had enough water that day. So, but the most important way that I regulate my hunger, this is a secret, don't tell anybody, it's by eating fucking food. When you're hungry, you're supposed to eat food. That's what happens. I must be hungry, so if I stay hungry, I'll keep burning fat. Feeling hungry doesn't mean you're burning fat. It means you're hungry and you're supposed to eat something. That's all you have to do. Get some fiber in there. That's another way that I regulate my hunger. I get some good protein in my day. That's another way that I regulate. Good healthy fats. Healthy fats are very satiating. And they're also necessary for a healthy hormone balance. Popping on over to Instagram for just a moment. What do I do if I'm so hungry after dinner, like I haven't eaten all day, like I can feel it in my stomach? I've been drinking water more recently, so I don't think that's it. Well, if you haven't eaten all day, then you have to eat food. And boy, do I know that's scary. I know it's scary to eat. I have been afraid of food many a time in my life. To this very day. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I got to be careful of that. And then I have to stop myself and be like, why? For what reason do I have to be careful? I don't have to be careful of anything. I'm regulated. I know what it is that I need, and I know what it is that I don't need. And I don't eat when I'm not hungry. And I eat when I am hungry, and I make good choices when I am hungry. And for several years, I've not gained weight back just through those little things. Whenever Mike says he's got an industry secret to share, I just know that it's one of the most obvious advice. Well, here's the thing, Spidey. It's not always obvious to everybody. Because there are, I already ate a full meal, but I'm still hungry, so I just go to bed hungry. Well, this is something where we would benefit from being able to talk like in person back to back, because then we could figure out like, well, are you getting enough calories in the day? How's your protein? How's your fiber? That kind of thing. It's what is the quality of your calories? What kind of calories are you getting? Enough complex carbs? What's your nutrient density like? What's your exercise level like? Maybe you're outputting more than you're consuming by quite a bit, and you're left hungry. Like if you're a runner, like I just became a couple of Saturdays ago when I ran a 5K. People who run are hungry. Why? Because they are outputting a lot of energy. They need to eat what you would assume would make them huge, but because they are constantly moving, and this is not me telling you to become a runner to lose weight. This is me telling you that if you are a runner, you're going to have to eat. And I'm telling you, I don't know any runners that like it. So this isn't a life hack to suddenly eat more. And take it from a guy who lost 110 pounds and used to eat entire pizzas in his car and go to McDonald's twice a day. I don't like eating so much anymore. I hate it. I didn't get to this other side. And it's not a mental thing like, oh, I can't have that. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good to feel sick. I'm not a fan of it. The other crappy thing about being short is the BMI that seems impossible. Well, this is where you get moving a little bit. You can raise that up a little. By the way, we don't go into a deficit from our BMI or BMR. By the way, I think you meant BMR, not BMI. It slipped by me for a second too. Yeah, if you are in if you have calculated your basal metabolic rate and you've gone into a deficit from your basal metabolic rate, congratulations, good news. You are allowed to eat more calories. In fact, you have to. You need to. You can't eat below your BMR. I mean, you can. It's not illegal, but you're not going to do well for very long. You might get away with a couple of days of it, but you are going to not feel good. That is the baseline level amount of calories your body needs just to create new white blood cells. Just to keep your brain running, just to keep your anxiety meat. Make it anxiety for you. Oh, here we go. Mike, do you have your PJ pants on? Maybe. So true. Sometimes the obvious stuff hasn't taught to us who grew up with the food pyramids and the belief that treadmills are the only ways to lose weight. Yeah, I'm constantly having to undo years upon years upon years of negativity and misinformation. And it's obviously alive and well. You guys are on the same Instagram I am. There's so much garbage out there. Brian, hey! What's going on, buddy? My friend Brian just popped in. I was just thinking of you today. I'm glad to see you. We shared some Chicago deep dish after that 5K. Well, we shared it before the 5K, really. So what we did was we carb loaded so that we could run the 5K. Actually, I credit my 5K run to the fact that you and I shared most of it deep dish pizza in Chicago. It was okay. We're gonna have to go to a place called Giordano's, I think it was. That's like the real place. So next time we're in Chicago, you and I will have to get it from Giordano's. Maybe we'll bring a few other people for the walk with us, so we don't have to try to pawn slices off on people who are all doing great with their hunger signals. That was fantastic. Had a kid be like, I wish they didn't have fans in the gym. I'm not sweating enough to lose weight. Oh, well, you're in luck. And by what well you're in luck, or by Smitty means by well you're in luck, is sweat does not equal weight loss. It could equal water loss, which is why you go into a sauna and you leave the sauna and you weigh less, just as if I were to drink this water and I were to pee, I would lose weight. But it's literally just water. That's all it is. Harley says them hunger strikes can be wild from running. That's for, oh God, yeah. I mean, we ate pretty good that day after we got these, right? It's like, by the way, I've never ran before, so I crossed the finish line. I was filming a video as I crossed, and they handed me a medal, and I was like, okay, I guess I get a medal then. Interesting. I don't know why that didn't click in my head, but you can see the video where they gave me the medal, and I was just like, I don't know what to do here. I have a medal though. But yeah, after that I was pretty hungry. I bet you were too. Do you have a calculator on hand? I do not have a calculator, but I am at any point 5 seconds away from having one. What am I saying? There we go. Calculator. Guys, I'm not binging. I'm just carb loading. I've talked myself into that a couple of times. I really have. Oh, you mean BMI, body mass index. That chart is about height and weight. Yeah, don't worry about BMI. Let me show you a picture really quick. Okay, this is one of my favorite points to make. Okay, hold on. If anyone is concerned about your BMI, give me a good-spirited Chris Terrell #1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat if you are concerned about your BMI or you've calculated your BMI, but your body mass index. Tell me if you've done that. And I'm going to show you 2 pictures. These pictures are very important to me. So important to me that I can't fucking find it. There we go. Got a couple of ones there in the chat. I'm 5'1". Movement has helped me significantly for losing its sustain. I think you had told me that you lost like 35 or 40 pounds or something like that. It's craziness. You're doing great. Good job, Harley. Okay, so here's 2 pictures, right? Now, the guy on the left, the skinnier guy there, he's a little softer on the edges, but he's just lost 100 pounds in this picture. That was 2018. Good for him. Look at him holding those big pants up. And then we've got the guy over there on the right. He's obviously a little bit bulkier. He's got some extra weight on him. He's pretty cut. He's looking well. Spidey, don't you spoil it. Everybody in this chat, tell me which one of these pictures you think is the heavier guy. The left is the skinny guy there on the left, or the right, the heavier, bulkier guy. Which one of these people, if they stepped on a scale, would be heavier? Which one do you think? Send me your answers right now. Let me know which one of these you would think is the heavier human being. My mom doesn't know. Spoiler alert, the right. Okay, Kate says it the right one. So the one who's obviously he's got some muscle, he's looking strong and looking good. Mike gets a medal. Same weight, if not the left guy. Okay, so we've got Dylan says that possibly it's either the left guy. We've got the right. Harley says the right guy. So the big muscle man. Boom. Okay. So I'll just leave it at CC and Dylan got it. These 2 are the same weight. 165 pounds on the left, 165 pounds on the right. Both of them are the same exact weight, but completely different bodies. Those are, for all intents and purposes, different people. 165 pounds. If they stepped on the scale with they're the same height, they're the same weight. If they were to put their body mass index, their BMI, their height and weight into a calculator, it would pop out the same number. Whatever the BMI would be for someone who's 6'3" and 165 pounds, both of those pictures would come up as the same body mass index if I were to type that into Google.com. That doesn't make any sense because clearly one has more body fat than the other one. One is more muscle than the other one, but they're the same weight. How is that? How could that be? Because BMI doesn't mean shit. If you go in and get a DEXA scan, which I don't know what DEXA stands for, but I don't need to because I've never known my body mass index. I don't care. That's the only way that you can really genuinely know what your BMI is. It has never mattered to me. It doesn't matter. I could be 15%, I could be 30% right now. I have no idea. I just know that I feel good and I'm able to bend over and pick things up, which I wasn't able to before. Don't worry about your BMI. Kate, there's a reason that's one of my favorite pictures to show people. Because they're like, well, I've been told that I have to get down to 15%. No, you don't. That's for professional athletes. We are not professional athletes. We are common folk. And we are not injecting ourselves with anything. For all intents and purposes, someone giving you health advice when they're on steroids, they're basically just a different species. Their body is entirely different than yours. Do not listen to people taking... and if they look too big to be true, they are too big to be true. Even if they say, I'm a natural athlete. No, the fuck you're not. Absolutely. There is a certain level of strength that a human being can get to, and that's not it. Those are anchor arms, SpongeBob. Don't even try. That's make-believe. That is a made-up... that is a fake body that you have. Don't take advice from people on steroids for anything. Unless, of course, they tell you don't do steroids. You can take that advice. A nurse practitioner told me because of my BMI being at 29 at the time that I had a high-risk pregnancy. I saw, which, by the way, I should say that body mass is not like something to be ignored. It's just not something that we need to be pinpoint accurate with. We can always lower our body fat percentage. Do you need to know exactly what it is? Probably not. I saw a new OB shortly after that, and he said, and I quote, "That's a load of shit. You're perfectly fine, and so is your baby." Mind you, the nurse practitioner in question was not small, but she had a lot to say about my weight. There's a lot of people that instead of ever addressing somebody's actual health, like me in the past, because I've got chronic conditions and I'm not 100%. Oh, somebody would see me and think that I'm healthy. It happens all the time. I'll stitch a video with someone who's heavier than me, and then all the comments will be like, "What about diabetes, though?" Well, no one mentioned diabetes. You did. Diabetes is not caused by overeating. Fun fact. You can stoke it, but it's not directly caused from overeating. But that's a different conversation for a doctor, not for me. I know my shit, but I won't talk about it because I stay in my lane. Yeah, a whole bunch of doctors, I don't want to say most, but a whole lot of doctors out there will ignore the things that are wrong with you and say, well, it's like you could walk in there with a broken leg, and if you're overweight, they'd be like, well, have you considered losing weight yet? Have you maybe thought about it? My leg is broken. My bone is sticking out of my knee. Well, you can maybe trim off a couple of pounds there. How? What am I supposed to do? Just help me with the thing. I will lose weight when you help me fix my leg. Lauren says, I've been eating below my BMR for months and still can't lose weight. I would pop some extra calories in there. You may have lowered your metabolic rate a little bit. That's a certain possibility. That all being said, there are obviously going to be maybe some, if I see your name as Lauren, I'm going to assume possibly that you are a person who may have a uterus and may have some hormonal things going on, some things that may be swinging in one direction or the other. But my recommendations to you would be my recommendations to anybody, which is get a little bit more movement, get some more complex carbs, get some more protein and fiber. You inject medicines weekly for medical conditions. Yeah, some of those? Okay, that just popped up. Okay, so there might be some hormonal stuff going on here. Yeah, have you spoken to not a general practitioner but endocrinologist about this? Don't talk to a GP about it. Talk to an endocrinologist. Go to the specialist about it would be my recommendation. Just as you shouldn't talk to me about it because I don't know shit about shit. But I will send you to the people who know shit about shit. Body recomp. Yes, Harley. Body recomp. It's a crazy thing. It's pretty wild. What do you mean by to not calculate with the BMR? I have to enter my age, gender, height, weight, activity, and my goals. That'd be 1 pound per week, and then choose BMR estimation formula. Yeah, you don't want to know your BMR because you don't want to go beneath it. What you're doing when you calculate your BMR is you are trying to go beneath it. What you want to go beneath is your total daily energy expenditure. Harley just posted it right there. Yeah, you can go to that one. I use the one on calculator.net, but TDE calculator is a good one too. It's one of the two that I would let anyone within my vicinity use. I wouldn't let anyone use anything else besides those two. That will give you... See, your BMR is what your body's going to burn in a coma. With you are on a table, you just have, an IV in you giving you the amount of food that you need just to operate as a human being. That's what your body is using to create new white blood cells. That's what it's using to keep your heart pumping. You go beneath that, you risk basic functions. But you are not in a coma. You are a human being. You are a human walking. You are a human living and moving and breathing and itching and pooping and farting and peeing. And you are going to burn calories even if you're not exercising. It's this is non-exercise, which is what we call NEAT movement, non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. It's just I moved my arms up, I moved them down, I burned calories that way. It's just idle movement through your day. So that's going to be part of your total daily energy expenditure. It's what is the amount of energy you are going to burn in a day on top of your BMR. What else are you going to burn on top of that? So it's and put you there. 1,600. So some of you hear that number 16. My BMR is 1,600. I have to go down to 1,300. I have to remove 300 calories so I can be in a deficit. Now you are beneath your very basic idea or your very basic levels of what you're supposed to be eating just to be alive. So that's dangerous. So what do we have to go in? So say that you're a sedentary person. You're 100 calories extra on top as your total daily energy expenditure. So what you're really realistically taking in every day just to maintain your weight from 1,600, add 2,100 calories. So we're not going into a deficit from our BMR to 13. We're going into a deficit from our total daily energy expenditure maintenance, which is 2,100. So 20, 19, 18. So your deficit realistically is 1,800 on a BMR that might come back. Oh, no. Was I gone? How much was missed? Oh, shit. If anybody can hear me, let me know. Because I just spent a whole bunch of time explaining PMR. How much of that came through? It glitched for a bit. Nothing. You heard me all the way. Okay, so you could hear me, you just couldn't see me. Anyway, I'm explaining the difference between BMR and total daily energy expenditure. So your BMR could be 1,600, but your deficit could still be 1,800. Well, how? Because it's over my BMR. Yes, but we're under our total daily energy expenditure. It's the amount that our body is burning by living and moving. Yeah, your BMR is 1675, and it's a struggle daily, most of it. Yes, the scale is more dangerous than a loaded gun. Tape measure works better. Yeah, well, that's a non-scale victory, as they call them. A non-scale victory, as we call it in my free Discord group, which if you are looking to get hundreds of non-scale victory ideas, things that you wouldn't even think were victories, I would love to invite you to come over to our free Discord group. So pop on it. You can, wherever you can find my link, it's Linktree/Mike Pridgeon. You can find it on Instagram. You can find it on, I think, YouTube somewhere. But yeah, anywhere you can find it. Don't go under 1,600, but go under 2,100. Yes, and you heard how I got to that 2,100 number, right? Yeah, because that is important. But yeah, that's the, I don't know if I sped through that. But if that made sense to you guys, let me know. If it didn't make sense, I can answer some questions there, because I think I just went into it like AP class mode right there. Just kind of speed ran it. I second to him being shirtless and us not missing the stream. Oh, my goodness. You guys are far too kind to me. But yes, let me tell you quick about why I'm shirtless right now, because there is, usually when you see me shirtless, there is a reason for it. Because shirtless is not my main mode. Some of you who have been with me long enough know why it is that I rose to prominence initially before people caught on to my other videos. I had a video go viral last year in which I'd faced my fear of taking my shirt off in public for the first time since I'd lost all my weight. And I was crying and screaming, and I wasn't screaming, but I just waxed poetic as I do. And I think I'm going to eat at maintenance for a week and see what happens. Lauren, if you are not in our Discord group, please join and let everybody know. Tag me and say that my friend Mike invited me to come in here. So I would love for you to be there among people who can help you out, people that you can run ideas by. Because right now, once I go off this live, you don't have contact with anybody. But if you come into the Discord, you have 24-hour access to. We've got people from all over the world. There's hundreds of people who are active every week. And so you will find someone who is knowledgeable. Obviously, everyone there is kind. We've only ever had to ban, I think, 2 people in the year and some change we've been up, which is insanity to me because, the internet is a toxic place if you let it. But not our group. Our group's fantastic. But yes, as for the even people from Canada, we have an odd amount of people from Canada. We might have to start cutting numbers here soon. We're overrepresented. Wonder where we'll start making cuts. Won't be Smitty. We need him. He's an MVP. But this video I had taken, I took my shirt off and I went up to the boardwalk in Wildwood, New Jersey, and it was terrifying. I'd never been among people like that, not in many years, with my shirt. I was wearing jeans to the beach up until that week, up until that day. I had finally decided I'm going to wear shorts out there, and then I got double bold and said, fuck it, I'm going to go out there without my shirt too. And I filmed it, and 10.5 million people saw me do it. And none of you fuckers have left me alone since. That was July of 23. And I've just been growing since that. Instagram's a little bit slow for everybody at the moment, but we have such a wonderful community here that nothing has been slow for me since. I'll be keeping up with the Discord more. Got to get away from the others that now promotes under eating is healthy. Yeah, Instagram loves disordered eating. Instagram absolutely loves disordered eating because it keeps engagement up, it keeps fear up, so people continue to watch it and engage with it and say, hey, don't do this, or you'll have people who are vulnerable, like some of us, who will see that content and it will stoke some negative behaviors. But we don't do that in the Discord. That is completely disallowed. I will silence. You'll see Angry Mike pop in there if something like that happens. We will try to correct kindly, of course, but if it keeps on, I get firm. So, Harley, thank you so much for sending that the link. Yeah, that's the link right there. You can get that in the Twitch. If you're not in our Twitch group yet, I would love to. Still can't wear shorts to the gym. You will, and you can. Well, it's not illegal. You're allowed to, for sure. I wear my shorts to the gym every day, which was a very scary thing for me to do, but I'm getting used to it. Oh, the reason I'm shirtless, right? Sometimes I'm still not comfortable with my body, and to get comfortable with my body, I'm like, well, why don't I just do the thing that I did back on that boardwalk to try to make myself a little bit more confident and more comfortable and to expose myself. And I'm in my own home right now. It's not like anything's gonna be an issue for me. No one's going to judge me, but it's still scary. But at a certain point, what ends up happening is like I forget that I'm shirtless and everything's okay and I lived and nothing's wrong. So it's an exposure exercise. Anytime you've seen me live without a shirt, it's usually because I got a little bit uncomfortable. Something happened. I just had a passing thought go through my head, and I'm like, fuck it, I gotta just do the thing. And then I take it off. My negative self-talk is more of an annoying roommate now than it is a loud, obnoxious neighbor banging on the wall. It's changed. Certainly changed. I've been enjoying the podcast, still binging my way through the episodes. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that a whole lot. There was one with Chris Terrell that I just released last week. I recorded it back in September 5th of 2023, so a year ago. And I released it on September 4th, 2024. So damn near a year to the day, and I think this was a leap year, so it was 365 days from the time it was recorded. I did not mean for that to happen, but things happened with the business sort of popped up around the time that the podcast did, so I had to channel my efforts elsewhere. But I got to capture my first face-to-face conversation with found his content. I had lost all my weight. Everything I was going to lose was already gone. But I was faced with two options. Let me show you the picture. You can lose all the weight and still hate everything. I did. I did that badly. I'll show you another one. That skinny guy there on the left, that was me at 155 pounds. Not healthy. Not very healthy there. Wasn't feeling too good. That was around the time, that one right there is around the time I found Chris. It was the summer of 2022, and I was faced with two options. It was either keep losing weight and die, because that's what I was still. This guy was chasing happiness right here. He was like, well, happiness is another 5 pounds away. Happiness is another 10 pounds away. I was 155 pounds. I'm 6'3". That wasn't going to happen. I was going to die. You can't just keep losing weight. Eventually, the weight loss has to stop. And he had introduced me to the idea of maintenance. Of just like, well, what if you didn't go anywhere? What if you stayed where you are? And I'm like, oh, novel idea. Never thought of that before. Was not even on my mind, because weight maintenance wasn't on my mind. It was weight loss, because weight loss was supposed to bring happiness gain. I was supposed to gain happiness from losing weight. So if I stop losing weight, I'm going to stop gaining happiness. But I lost weight and didn't gain any happiness. So what was I going to do? I had to find happiness. And it took me a year or so, or it took me 6 months to try to figure out how to maintain. And I was very meticulous about it. But once I had risen to relative prominence, Chris found me very early on, and obviously I was already a fan of him. And it turned out he was a fan of me too, which that was insane. And I got to record the conversation that became the beginning of our friendship. A very important friendship to me that has resulted in, my career going the way it's gone. And I worked full time for myself, and now I've taught classes for Chris in his Guild of Champions. And, my life has taken, he encouraged me to start my own business and helped me with everything that I do. And, just super, super grateful. All because I took my shirt off. So if you're in a place where you can take your shirt off right now, go ahead and do it. Why not? Why not? But all that to say, those of you who have not documented yourself in a while, whether that be a picture or, spoiler alert for an upcoming podcast, I found one of my old journals. And it's not pretty in here. Really, really bad. There's a couple of bad moments, but a couple of really powerful moments, and you'll hear about that on the podcast. Some of you were here a couple of days ago when I read from it, and I cried on here. So revisiting that was really it's really powerful. Wow, yeah. Pause. What? Oh, hold on. What happened? Who said pause and what? Wow, pause. Oh, here. My psychiatrist told me to stop eating what I like. He thinks you have to get it. You have to get an ED to get better. That's something you got to report that to like the board or something. That's dangerous. Somebody telling you need to have an ED. It's between that dipshit and carnivores doing that. I take my shirt off, but my neighbors are window peepers. My windows are open right now. Fuck it. If they look, it's their fault, not mine. Take my pants off, too. I'll let my dick hang. I don't care. What are they going to do? They're looking into my house. They're the weird ones. Sorry you saw my balls. Close your eyes, simply. You don't have to look. Leading to the allure of whether or not I have pants on. He was overweight a year ago and asked me how I planned to lose weight, so I showed him some apps to track calories, and he started to eat a lot of veggies, and that's it. He eats raw onions like apples because they shut his stomach down. Yeah, that's a lot of people turn to weight loss for what should be treated in therapy. Because that's, CeCe Wild's gone. Damn. We have to make a massive phone call with a bunch of undressed people. I've been thinking of doing some Discord calls. If anybody would be interested in doing live Discord calls with me, I was thinking of doing like a live stream thing, but I'm like, why even do a live stream? Why can't we just like all of us hang out in the Discord? I would like to get something scheduled where we all can pop in and have a conversation together. So if that's something anyone here is interested in, having some Discord calls, not just with me, but with everybody in the community, because I don't try to posture myself as a figurehead or a star or anything. Like, I just opened the door. Everybody came in and made it a party around me. So, it would be a good opportunity for everyone just to get to hang out and get to talk about things in a way that we don't normally get to. But no clothes needed at home. Amen. Amen, everybody. If you're at a place where you can legally do it, which is at home, it doesn't matter if your house is made of windows, you're home. Just get naked. Changed my life. Taking my shirt off changed my life. That's all I'm saying. Not saying correlation equals causation and what have you, but there's been some mighty fine causation. I need to figure out Discord. I open it and boom, lost. Yeah, there's a bunch of... So it's... Think of it like whatever topic that you would like to... About all different topics. You go to one specific chat, and in that chat, there's going to be comments about that topic only. If we're going to do that, we have to fix your internet. Is it still phasing in and out? Damn. I don't know what to do about that. If you can hear me, that's fine. If you can't see me, whatever. My voice is what's important here. If I was a guy, I'd definitely be shirtless. Being a woman with a sports bra is as close as it gets, though still powerful. Well, if you're in your room right now, just let it. I don't care. Don't let anybody stop you from doing anything. Become the Joker, everyone. That's the moral of tonight. No, maybe not. I don't think convincing people to do crime is advisable. Who here is from the guild? Other than my friend Harley here. Do we have any other guildies here? And anyone coming to Dallas? Because I live here in Dallas. So I will be here. Oh, you are in public. Okay, yeah, then you might want to stay how you're at. But you should have the right to. You should be allowed, is my belief. Everyone should have the right. If I'm allowed to, everyone should be allowed to. Yeah, if you guys are not in the Guild of Champions yet, you should be. It's a fantastic place to be. It's one of the only other programs that I will. I don't have an anti-compete thing or whatever. Like, there's enough people to help out there, but it's more so like, do I believe in a program enough to also recommend it along my own things? The things that I do myself, and I do. That is something. And it's I'm biased because I occasionally work there, but it's I recommended it before I did that. I recommended it far before I was working in there. So yeah, the Guild of Champions is just a fantastic place to be. If you're looking to work with me specifically, I will have some group coaching here in October, I believe. Working on it here. You guys have heard me say that many a time, but it is finally coming together. So if group coaching is something that you need, I've got that available. If you are looking for one-to-one coaching with me personally, which is not just like, hey, I'm going to throw a plan at you and then you're going to handle it and do what you got to do. It's we work together very closely. I can only take on a few people at a time because it is we meet for a couple hours a week through video calls just like this, except you would be able to talk back to me. You get my personal number, so we talk through the week. We build your plan from the bottom up for 10 weeks, and then we'll reevaluate. If you want to keep working, you can. There are people that have been with me since I started. There are people that do the 10 weeks, and they're good to go. There are some people that are like, hey, why don't we do every other week? And we do that. But what's most important is you've got somebody to help you strategize your life. Any questions you have, anything that you would like to do, anything that you would like to accomplish, I will help you do and learn and accomplish it. So if that is something that is of interest to anybody here, I've one slot open still. And usually when I announce it on my Instagram, it fills up immediately. So I'm trying to just first give it to people who really want it and aren't just seeing it in their feed and going, okay, that seems interesting. I could maybe lose weight with this guy. Like, we're going to cry together. Understand? Like, this isn't just a thing where I tell you what to eat and you go ahead and eat it. Like, we change your whole life. That's the goal, is for you to come out a different person. We'll talk about calories. We will talk about nutrition. We'll talk about all that stuff. But the more powerful work is going to be, why is it that you are here in front of me in the first place? Why did that happen? And how can we give you the tools to not need me or anyone else ever again? That's why I don't want you to come back to me, it's 6 months after you leave me. And be like, hey, I gained all the weight back. I don't want, that means I failed. That means I didn't help you build the tools that you needed to not need somebody again. That's what we do. I think we're going to go to the Dallas meetup. Chicago is so supportive, courageous, and enjoyable. Yes, and perhaps we'll get some time together, which would be really good, because we didn't get to talk quite enough when I was there. So I think I really had just encountered you right at the very end. So yeah, it would be great if you got to come by. Where are you? I mean, you don't have to tell me here if you're not comfortable, but it's, you narrow it down to a state. You should be fairly safe there. But night, people. Oh, good night. You have a good one now. Yes, Smitty. In fact, I am in Dallas. But yeah, guys, I'm going to pop out of here shortly. I think maybe I should get some rest too. It's important to do. I did promise everybody that I was going to be resting. Oh, I posted a video a half hour ago, didn't I? I had it on automatic post. I can probably guarantee that no one's seen it. Yeah, that's about right. The algorithm is not doing well. Really, really bad. Lovely seeing you, Mike. Lose the pants next time. Who knows if I even have them on. Oh, you're in Virginia. I used to be in Jersey. I've moved further away from you. Anyway, if you're not in the Discord yet, I'd love for you to join. Wish you could go to Dallas. I'll see you in 2025. There's still about a month for you to figure it out, Brian. All right, everyone. Again, if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, it's available. If you're not looking for it, just come on in the Discord, or you can do both. Love to have you either way. If you need help, I'm here. If you don't need help, I'm here to cheer you on. That's all you need. Thank you so much for being here. Be kind to yourselves. I will see